Saints, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Barbara Dean Franklin Show, Real Talk, Real People. I am your host, Barbara Dean Franklin, and today I have the awesome pleasure of sitting with my girlfriend, Kimberley Harris. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you very much for having me, Barbara.
Hey, it is my pleasure. How are you today?
I'm feeling wonderful.
That is great. So the reason that I've asked you to come on the show, Kimberly, is because you are a breast cancer survivor.
Yes, I am.
And this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I wanted to, just share your story, your journey, your strength with people that are out here that are still going through, and just let them know that people are living with breast cancer and not always dying from it, So what I'm going to do is just ask you to take me back over your journey. Like, what year were you diagnosed with breast cancer?
Okay. I was initially diagnosed with breast cancer in October of 2004. Mm-hmm. I found out about it because I did a self-examination. Right. I rarely do those. Okay. Prior to that, I'd rarely done a self-examination, but I had a friend that came down with breast cancer the month before. So she came down with it August of 2004. And so because of her, I did the self-exam. I felt something in my left breast that just didn't feel normal. As black women, I think we have a lot of tumor fibers type tumors that are just nothing, but I felt something that felt like something I'd never felt before. Right. So I immediately made an appointment with my primary care doctor, and he then told me what he suspected, but he said it may not be. It could just be some fibrous tissue. Okay. I then had a mammogram, and then I had a biopsy. Okay. And I was very brave because I just kept saying, it's probably not cancer or anything, it's probably nothing. Right. So I said that I can go to the doctor by myself, and when I went to the doctor, and I just knew when he made my appointment, the last appointment of the day, something kind of told me that maybe something was going on. Right.
Okay, so prior to you doing your self-exam, you were feeling fine?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if your girlfriend, who had been diagnosed a month before you, hadn't have told you about her breast cancer, you probably wouldn't even have done the self-exam?
Exactly.
Okay. And so now you go to the doctor, and he makes your appointment the last one of the day, and you say you're brave, you go by yourself. How important is it to have someone with you when you're doing that?
It is very important. Don't try to be brave. Don't try to be a big girl. It is so important to have someone there with you, because just the anxiety of sitting in the doctor's office. There was a lady in there that I'd never seen before, and I got kind of upset, and I started crying, and she just held me. She held me just like I was a baby. I also called a friend of mine who lives way over on the east side, but she just happened to be on the west side of town, and she came and she met me at the doctor's office, and she held me after the lady that I met, the angel that I met, helped me.
Okay. So you're diagnosed in 2004.
Yes.
And today you're cancer-free.
Yes, I am.
That's great. And I know that we talked, and on Monday you had you had to go and do an additional scan.
Yes.
So, and praise.
No cancer.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. So how important is it for us as black women to do those self-exam and to make sure that we're going to the doctor and checking up on ourselves?
It is so important to do the self-exam. Really, we should be doing the self-exam every month. Okay. It's also important to know your family history, to find out, the females on your mom's side of the family, even the females on your father's side of the family. It's so important to find out their history. Okay. Talk to them. Ask who had cancer, who had breast cancer, who had ovarian cancer. Okay. It's so important. And ladies, once we turn 40, it's so important to have those yearly mammograms. Okay. I can't stress that enough. With the ladies that I used to work with, the company pays for it. We have excellent benefits.
Yes, we do.
Please have your mammograms. It's so important.
Right. Yes, and I guess I forgot to say that. I always say that Kim and I work together at AT&T, Michigan Bell, SBC, Ameritech, so yes, we do have that insurance, and it is very important that we take care of ourselves. And it's so important because there are so many people that are dealing with so many different forms of cancer.
Absolutely.
You know, today. And I think that, you know, we always try to self-medicate.
Yes.
You know, okay,
Yes.
I have a cold, I have this, and everything will be okay.
Yes.
Well, we cannot take that chance today, you know, because I thank God for God. He gives us good sense and good doctors,
Absolutely.
you know, to help us, you know, along the way. So take me back on the journey when they told you, you know, and if I say anything that you don't want me to say, you can kick me under the table. Ouch, not like that.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. You
It's
see
okay.
that? Yeah, just, you know, so going back on your journey, what did that feel like for you? When
it was just a range of emotions, but the one thing, I just wasn't afraid, and I never once said, why me?
Okay.
Never once, because my faith in God became so much stronger.
Right.
And I actually tell people, you know, I kind of in a way thank God that I came down with cancer, because it grounded me.
Great.
It made me realize what was much more important in my life. So gaining weight was not important in my life.
Exactly.
My hair that I used to just love and cherish was no longer. I'm not my hair, so that wasn't important anymore. And also my journey put me in touch with a lot of wonderful people. I found out that there were so many people that cared about me and that loved me, and they were right there with me from the beginning to the very end. So with my breast cancer, I had it on the left side. I had to have a lumpectomy, which is removing the tumor itself and removing part of the tissue in the breast. I also had to have chemotherapy, and I had radiation.
Okay.
So
how was the process? This happened in 2004, and I was just reading up last night about the lumpectomy and the mastectomy. I guess the difference, you know, in the two of them, and how it is still important, because they go in, they think they have everything, you know, but how important it is to follow up, you know, to make sure that you are, you know, doing the things that you're supposed to do. Now, as a result of your breast cancer, I mean, you know, they tell us that we shouldn't do the white sugars and the different things. So what did you know, as a result of your breast cancer, what are you doing different? What are some of the aha moments that you think you uncovered?
Well, I tried to change my diet. You know, I'm a Southern girl too, so I love my sweets. As a matter of fact, my now husband, his first wife died from cancer, so he had a lot of really good books and a lot of good recipes that I did try to use, but just the basic things that I could cut down on, I did. I still love sugar, but I've cut down on sugar tremendously. I don't drink pop anymore, and I'm much more conscious of exercising. Even if I can't do a lot, but I walk every day. So exercise and drinking lots of water, it's very important.
All right. So they were saying that some of the following I'm looking at, I have a email that I get from the USA.gov, and they have a lot of good information, and I'm going to make sure that I put this link on the page so people can go to it. But they were just talking about the following risk factors may increase the risk of breast cancer, and that's estrogen and the hormone replacement therapy and exposure to radiation, obesity, alcohol, and the inherited risk. But the things that we could do to decrease it is to exercise and to get decreased exposure from estrogen, and then be selective estrogen receptor modulators. Well, they got prophylactic mastectomy and and I'm not going to do all these needs because you know, because I would not get it right. But they just have they also give, it's called a pink ribbon kit, and it's Pink Ribbon Sunday program, and I don't know what that is, but it gives you a lot of different information about early detection of breast cancer. And so with the early detection, because again, so it's just very important that we go into the, make sure that we're checking up on ourselves. So that's an annual pap smear, annual mammogram, and then breast self-examination. How often do they recommend that you do that?
Anywhere from once a month to once every 3 months. I do it once a month, though.
Okay.
I do it once a month.
Okay. So now you're going through, again, we'll go back to your journey. You're going through in 2004, you have they've told you that you have breast cancer, and you go back to the doctor, because I'm sure they're checking it. Do you get a second opinion? Do you just...
I really trusted my doctor. I just didn't find a need for a second opinion. At that point, I was really sure that's what it was. He did a biopsy, and I was very sure. And I just wanted to know, what is it? Let's move forward to get it taken care of. Let's do what we can.
So with you said you had radiation or chemo?
I had both.
Okay, radiation and chemo.
Yes.
So how long did that process take for you?
Well, actually, I was off work for about 7 months. I had surgery, and after the surgery, I had to heal from the surgery. So it took like 6 weeks to heal from the surgery, and then they could start the chemo. The chemo was very brutal. It was very brutal. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. It was the worst experience of my life, but I needed it to save my life. So I knew I had to go through it. I had a very strong support system, and my faith in God is the only thing, because after I only had 4 chemo treatments, they were so strong to I would have the treatment, it would just knock me down the next day, and by the time I'd start feeling better, because I had to have the treatments every 3 weeks, so by the time I started feeling better, it was time to get knocked out again. So there were so many things with the chemo therapy. I read a lot, but there were just so many other things, like your fingernails get black and under your feet get black, and I went through having sores in my mouth, and it was difficult, but it saved my life, and I knew it wasn't something that was going to go on forever.
Right. Now, what is the difference, if you can, between chemo and radiation? Do you know?
Chemo, there are a lot of different types of chemotherapies, and what they'll do, once your doctor finds out that you have cancer, they'll work with a team of doctors to find out which combination of chemo would be best for you. Most times it's a combination of 2 medicines, and then they'll determine whether or not, depending on the type of cancer, the type of breast cancer that I had was estrogen receptive, so which meant that I couldn't have any type of estrogen products in me, and it was a very aggressive form of cancer. So because it was so aggressive, they wanted to give me this very strong combination. Even though I only had 4 treatments, it was extremely strong. So it varies so much. It just depends on the person, and they try to tailor something for you. The chemo is just basically to kill the cancer, but it kills a lot of other cells too. So that's why a lot of times people get very sick from it.
And the radiation how does it differ from chemo?
Actually, the radiation is just like these bright lights, and it's just having a light on the affected area. But the radiation, you have that more often. I had that 5 days a week for about 7 weeks, and it's not as harsh as the chemo. It doesn't make you as sick, it just makes you tired, but there are a lot of long-term effects with the radiation, because it just kind of burns your skin, and it can affect your bones, and it can affect other areas of your body.
So you're going through the chemo, you have those 4 treatments, and as soon as you get stronger, it knocks you back down, it's time for another treatment.
Yes.
You go through your chemo and you're done with that. Then you start the radiation. You're not doing those both at the same time?
No, in my case. But in some cases you do it at the same time. But for me, because again, that chemo that I had was so strong, I had to wait about 6 weeks after I was done with my chemo, and then I started the radiation.
Well, one thing I know, that the chemo may have been strong, but I know that you're stronger than anything.
I found that out.
Your faith in God. I mean, I just, everybody loves you. You're just such a bright light, and I thank God that you took the time out to come here and talk, because I know so many people, again, that are suffering, with some type of cancer, and they need to know that it is possible, that there is blessings on the other side of through. You go through something. And I think what I really kind of want you to talk about is your attitude as you went through. I don't think that you had a woe is me party, and you said that earlier, because I think if we have the right, because our bodies are made to self-heal, and I think that if we think, like positive thoughts, if we are committed that this is not going to take me down, you know, and if we go into that like that, I think that it helps us, you know, to get rid of those, you know, things that are affecting us. Tell me, you know, again, about your support system and what kept you believing and trusting and knowing that, you know, you were going to conquer this.
Well, I knew that I was going to lose my hair, first of all. So I always wanted to be a blonde. So my daughter at the time, she was about 27 or 28. So that she wouldn't be so upset about her mommy going through this, I told her, let's go wig shopping. So I had so many blonde wigs. I had red haired wigs. I was a brunette. And that really helped her, and it helped me to prepare, because I knew my hair was going to fall out. So let's just go ahead and do this now. Let's not wait until my hair falls out. At that time, I wasn't married, but my then boyfriend said, okay, well, the day that I was diagnosed, he moved me right in. He said, you have to move in today. And I said, well, I don't want to. No, you have to move in today. And so my stepson, who's now 17, but then his function, everybody wanted to participate, everybody wanted to function. My husband was still driving, so he made sure that he got me everywhere that I needed to go. My stepson, my son, his job was to answer the phone and to take all the messages, and everybody wanted to do something. I had so many people. For me, I like to talk about it. It helped me to talk about it. So many people act as if they're ashamed. They don't want anybody to know. I don't understand that. Everyone has their way of dealing with things, but for me, it was I got such strength by talking about it and telling people about it. And even when I was sick, I said, I know this is going to pass. This is going to be over. And I just know that I'm going to come out of it being stronger, and I'm going to be better. And if I can just help one person, then it's worth me going through it.
Great. And that in itself, for all things that we go through, you know, I just went on a retreat this weekend, and I was in Canada, and one of the deacons in the church, Cindy Reese, you know, I go to Greater Southern Baptist Church at 8000 Fullerton. I haven't done that in a while. You know, my pastor is the Reverend Darrell S. Moore. But she passed out these little booklets and gave all of us a book, and my book was called Write Your Own Ticket with God. And it said that you need to say it, you need to receive it, you need to do it, then you need to tell it. So, you know, I think that's what you just said that you did, you know. You believed that you were going to get better. You know, you spoke it. You know, you said it. You did all that you had to do. If it was chemo or your medicine, you just didn't sit and wait for it to come to you. You did all the necessary steps, and then you tell it. You tell people your testimony so it can be a blessing to somebody else. And again, I can't thank you enough for, you know, just being here, just for being the friend that you are, just for being the person that you are, for not letting, you know, what you went through get you down, but for using it as a strength, a stepping stone to getting where God wants you to be. You just don't know how much you bless people, just your presence, walking into a room, you know, being with the retirees, Diva D, you know, you know, going and doing the things that you do so effortlessly, always there, you know, people can depend on you, you know, and they trust you, and so they, you know, they look to you, you know, no matter what we may be going through. You know, if you could go through what you go through, still smile, still be beautiful, you know, still come on there. You know, I know last week, I think it's when you said, okay, my hair, I'm letting it go, you know, I'm not even going to worry about it, you know, and you came on there and we all say, hey, you're still beautiful, you know, because again, you are not your hair. See, I could say that right now because I'm trying, I want to go natural and cut my hair off and start to lock, you know. People keep saying, well, when are you going to do it? You know, I'm going to let the braids go real soon. I had my daughter on the show, and she kept saying, thank God for the braids, because she has her own shop and she does not have to mess with me and my hair. So, but I'm going to let her cut it off. And I have another girlfriend, her name is Tizella Washington, and she just posted on Facebook, she shaved all of her hair off, and she's going through, you know, some issues with cancer right now, but she's posting like you know, whatever she's learning as she goes through, she's telling us about the sugar, the white, you know, the white breads and the, you know, starches and, you know, eating the brown rice, you know, going to, the, you know, to those different things. So I'm grateful that when people are going through things that they try and help somebody else. They don't just get all the information, keep it for themselves and like, well, I had to go through it, somebody else, you know, you go through it on your own. So it's, you know, it's just a good thing to, you know, have people that are courageous enough to tell their stories. And so I know that it may not be easy, you know, but I, again, thank you. So today, we're cancer-free. How does that feel for you? And what are you doing to help others?
It's an awesome feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. And I don't know if you knew, but I was also diagnosed again in 2008.
No,
so I went through the left breast 2004, the right breast in 2008, and it was almost identical, where I had to have the lumpectomy. I had to go through the chemo again. I had to go through the radiation again. People tell me that I'm brave. I don't see that. I just see my faith in God. My faith in God.
Right.
My faith in God.
Gotcha.
And He has put so many wonderful people in my life. And it's not me. They just kind of hold me up and they lift me up on those days when I wasn't strong. They were right there to lift me up.
Right.
But like I just tell everyone, early detection is the key to everything. Without early detection, I would not be here. I wouldn't be able to, I just wouldn't be here. So because I was getting my regular mammograms after 2004 and because I became more aware, early detection is what saved my life.
That's great. That's great. So we're going to, you know, speak to the viewing audience and just tell every woman that is out there to make sure that you check your breast, do a self-exam, you know, make sure that you go to the doctor. I think it's over 40 when you should get the mammograms, you know, make sure if you're over the age of 40 that you go and you get the mammogram. And if you're under the age of 40, you know, make sure that you get regular checkups with your doctor. And again, check the family history. That is some great information to find out if anybody in your family has been affected, you know, by this disease. It's just, you know, amazing to me that it seems like growing up, you know, there were rarely did you hear about stuff like this. You know, when I was coming up, I don't know too many people that were affected by, you know, the disease, and it just seems like so much stuff is going on now. I'm going to have later on in the month a girlfriend of mine that worked for AT&T as well. Her name is Cricket Lott, and she does raw food. You know, and so they do, you know, the natural eating healthy and essential oils. You know, the oils that are, you know, in the Bible, oils that's supposed to help your body. So we need to exercise, we need to eat right, you know, and we need to do some research on the things that, you know, we're eating. I'm a fast fooder, you know, because sometimes I don't want to cook, you know, so I'm loving me some church's chicken and okra, and, you know, and I talked about, you know, being on Weight Watchers. I got on the scale this morning. I need to watch my weight some more, you know, because I'm not doing all that I need to do. But it's very important that as we, you know, go to the doctors and that we, you know, look at, you know, try to be mindful of what we're eating. Sugar is really bad for us.
It is so bad,
you know,
for us.
And so is that something that they talk to you about when, after, you know, when you went to your doctor, you went through your chemo or whatever, is that something that they share with you as well, like the right things to eat, the right things, different things to do?
There might have been a nutritionist or someone that worked with me, but actually I was so overwhelmed by kind of having the disease. Everything was just coming at me at once, and I just said, Lord, you take all this information and decipher it for me, because everything was just happening so fast.
Now, you know, I was reading up last night before we came here, and that's one of the things that they talked about was taking somebody with you so they could take the notes, so they can maybe ask questions that you are overwhelmed from, you know, from, you know, like everything that you want to do, so they can ask the, you know, questions for you, take the notes, and feed back to you what they said at the doctor, because sometimes, you know, it's just sound bites. sites. You're not really hearing anything.
Exactly.
So, you know, some more good information. I think that this this site that the USA Gov gives you is just really good. When they talk about the stages of, you know, they have the different stages of breast cancer and what you should do after you've been diagnosed, and how cancer spreads through, you know, your breast or to other parts of your body. So again, I have to make sure that I'm, you know, putting this information out there so it'll be a blessing to someone else. So tell me what else is going on in your life. I know that on, you know, Tuesdays once a month you're with the retirees, you know, the AT&T retirees. You guys are doing different dinner and different things. I know October the 13th, I think there's going to be big to do a cabaret or something. I remember
this Saturday.
Okay, this Saturday coming up. Okay. I had something I want to ask you. I didn't take my ginkgo this morning, but so do you like do any of the breast cancer walks? I think this weekend is it the breast cancer walk.
Yes.
So are you involved in activities of that nature?
I try to be involved in the walks. I've just been too busy.
Okay.
And since I've retired, I've just been so busy.
What is that?
I just
what is up with that? You know, because I retired in March, and I think I'm busier today than I ever was when I worked. You know, so I told them, I said, I don't call it retirement, I call it rehirement. You know, this is like you're just running for yourself, running for everybody else. So, so are you? You know, I know. Are you in any organizations?
Yes, I am. I am part of a group called Sisters Network, and actually the group meets in River Rouge, Michigan, which is quite a distance from me. But there was a girl that I connected with on Facebook that was from my old neighborhood that we never met, but 35 years later, she found out that I was a breast cancer survivor, and she asked me to come to a meeting. So now I'm very active in our group, Sisters Network. We do a big, what we call a pink gala. We do that once a year. We are very involved in the community of River Rouge. We go door to door, passing out information. We have a little walk through the neighborhood, like a parade, and we are very, very active and involved in the community. So I really enjoy that.
Okay. And Kimmy, if you could, you know, talk to somebody that is going through right now, somebody that is newly diagnosed with breast cancer, and they, you know, they're struggling with, you know, the fear, the worry, you know, the why me, you know, what would be your best advice to someone?
Just to be encouraged, find someone that you can talk to. Don't try to hold it in. Don't try to take that journey by yourself. You can't do it. In talking to God, God is going to put some people in your life. It's wonderful to talk to God, but you still need some people that you can lean on. And there are so many people out there that want to help you. There are really people that want to help you. Find a person or two or 10 or 20, you know, because you have to have someone to talk to. You have to have somebody to take you to an appointment on the day when you don't feel like driving yourself. But it's just so important to have some sort of support system. I talk to people all the time. I talk to strangers. I talk to people in the grocery stores. I talk to anybody that wants to listen, and I tell them about it. And if I know someone that's going through it, if I see someone, and I just ask them, "Are you having a bad day? Is something going on with you?" And I talk to them. I never did that before, but going through this cancer has given me so much courage to just reach out to people that I would. And my husband, he thinks that I'm crazy because I always go up talking to strangers, but because sometimes it could just be just a little thing. Are you going through something right now? Or, you know, sometimes I see people in a doctor's office, and I met a couple of people that had just been diagnosed, and I just give them my number, and I give them my email address, and I tell them I'm on Facebook. I'll listen, and I'll talk, and I'll tell you what I know. I might not know a lot, but maybe I can tell you something that'll help you.
And I think, you know, where they talk about, you know, giving your testimony, you know, I can't tell anybody about breast cancer. I could tell them what I've been through. You know, I could tell them about some of the things that I've struggled with and I've overcome. But unless you've walked a mile in that shoe, you know, it doesn't, you know, they just think that people are just being nice or being kind. So what you're doing is being a blessing to someone who has to go through that journey, you know, that you've been through. They see you, they know that they too can, you know, overcome that. I think that what you said is very important because, again, I went away this weekend and we had, you know, it was just all sisters, you know, we were all together, and just to see, they had an exercise where we stood and we looked at a mirror, and it says, when I look in the mirror, I see. And you think about all the things that we struggle with as women, you know, being mothers, being wives, being sisters, and, you know, being friends, you know, how hard it is that, you know, you look at me and I may be smiling and say, I'm having a good day, I'm great, you know, but you really don't look at me to take the time to say, are you really okay? You know, what's really going on? Because, you know, as women, we're so guarded, you know, we don't, you know, we think that, you know, most of our sisters are hating on us anyway, you know, we so busy backstabbing and catty with each other, you know, I mean, it goes on, you know, we pray that it does not, you know, and that's why I started the organization Women in Power Crossing Path, a network of sisters uplifting, encouraging, and inspiring each other to motivate each other, to teach our young women how to be real sisters, you know, I mean, you know, you do what it is that you do, I do what it is that I do, and there's enough of, you know, for everybody to go around, that we don't have to be in competition with each other, you know. All of us are beautiful in our own way and in our own right, you know. We all have struggles, we're all going through something, you know, so we need to allow people to be who they are, where they are, you know, because we never know at the end of the day who's, you know, what somebody is going through, you know. If you didn't share your story, you know, about that you had cancer, nobody could look at you. What does it look like? What is, you know, what is the face of, you know, breast cancer? What's the face of domestic violence? What's the face of crack addiction, alcoholism? We never know unless you open up your mouth and you share to know that people are out there that want to help you. They want to assist you. They want to love on you. They want you to, you know, they want to encourage you to be strong and, you know, to do it. So how's your family doing today? How is, you know, everything going for you and your family?
Everything is going just so well. The Lord has just blessed us so much. My husband is now legally blind, and but it's a wonderful thing because when he needed to see, he saw. And when I was sick, he was able to drive me around, and he was there to do everything that needed to be done that I was too weak to do. There were times when I was so weak from the chemo, my husband literally had to feed me. And he was right there, and he's still right there. He gets a little upset sometimes because he can't see. I said, you don't have to see. I see for you, you know. So I was blessed to be able to retire so that you know, I could help out with our son and, you know, all those soccer games and, you know, become the soccer mom and all that. And my family has just been wonderful. Everybody is more aware. You know, my son, if he does anything at school about cancer, he's so proud. And he's proud to say, my stepmom is a cancer survivor. And people just say, like, I didn't know that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So it has changed my life so much for the better. I used to be very, I don't want to use the word vain, but I was very concerned about my looks. I was concerned about my hair. I was concerned about how much I weighed. And now when I stand in the mirror and look, and when my hair started growing back, and I looked at all the scars that I have on my breast, I have 17 inches of scars from being operated on so much. And I said, boy, those things are really beautiful, you know, and even if I would have had to get them cut off, then so be it. But, you know.
And I was just sharing with the young lady that is here working with us, you know, how you have to love the me you see, you know, and you know, you have to get to a place, no matter what it is that we go through in life. You know, we can always look for somebody else to need to change, or somebody else needing to do this, or somebody else, but until we are in love with who we are, you know, big, small, hair, no hair, you know, issues, no issues, until we get to the point where we can love ourselves, really look at ourselves and really be in love with ourselves, then, you know, we're doing a disservice to anybody else, because until we love us, we cannot love or expect to get that love back, you know. So the one thing you say, you know, everybody is doing fine, but I know that Cadillac emblem keep messing with you on that truck. You've
Why did you have to remind me? No.
Because I think it is funny, every time I see something about you in that Cadillac, that truck of yours, say so. But it's, you got it back on there?
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't, because the dealership wanted to charge $107. So I'm checking junkyards for an emblem.
So you need a Cadillac emblem.
Yes,
okay,
I do,
so,
and I'm sure I'm going to find one. I'm not even worried about it.
I know that's right. So maybe somebody in the viewing audience has a Cadillac truck they're getting ready to get rid of. Kim needs an emblem. Could you guys please hook her up, please?
Right. And don't charge me $107
not
either.
At all for
yes.
Just for the emblem. Okay, so maybe we'll make one. We'll get something. So, Kim, so tell me, like, what's up for you? What would you like to do to? I know you're busy, and I hear that you're with your husband. With him having, not being able to see. I was again at the retreat, and someone said that they were losing their eyesight. So I think that God does not put more on you than you can bear.
Yes.
And He's just so awesome in the way He worked things out, because when you needed Him, like you said, He was right there for you, walked you through everything that you needed to do. And now here it is that you're going to be able to be there for Him. That's called that reciprocity,
yes,
when you both take care of each other. And that's a great thing, to have that love in your life, to want to be there for somebody. And I just commend you and your husband, and I'm praying that God's hand is extended toward the both of you, and continue to keep and cover you and your family, and that everything that you desire to do, that God blesses it and raises it up. And I know that He will, Kim, because you're such a good person. You deserve nothing but the best, And so God is going to give you exactly that, because your heart is right, your heart is pure. And, so it's a great thing. But if, again, for the breast cancer survivor, do you know what the survival rate is for breast cancer? Do you know that?
I used to know that figure, and I really can't remember. I know our goal is to try to make 5 years cancer free. So,
so if you make 5 years of cancer free, are the chances of it coming back less?
They are a lot less. The chances of it coming back after 5 years is greatly reduced. It still happens, but if you can make that 5-year mark, you're usually in pretty good shape, but it can still happen 10, 20 years later, Yeah.
And I have heard that people have had it, So I guess to you go, you do the chemo, you do the radiation, they remove, like what can you do after you've had all of that and you're cancer free? What is it, something that you can do to again eliminate those? I know the eat right, I know the exercise, but is there something else that they recommend that you do?
Just keep in touch with your doctors. I always say I'd rather go to the doctor and they tell me it's nothing than to not go to the doctor and wait and they say, why did you wait to come to me so late? We lost a friend. I'm sure you remember Anya Collins.
Yes.
And I remember Anya being at work and complaining about pain under her arm. I remember that. I remember that like it was yesterday. And she was busy taking care of her family and saying, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. And by the time she got to the doctor, it was late. It was very late. And we lost her.
Yes, I do remember Anya. As a matter of fact, yesterday I took a stroll through Cobo Hall, and I remember that, we had the exhibitor service over there, and I used to work in exhibitor service.
Yes.
And then after I left and, went into the Detroit Billing Center, Anya went over there, she was asking me questions about, okay, so, what should I expect, and it was really good to go there and do the auto shows and the boat shows and the different things like that. Well, that little AT&T office or the Ameritech office, SBC, is now the coat room. So how small it was, for us. But we were in there, we were doing big things in that little bitty room that was there, But yeah, I definitely remember Anya and, just paying tribute to, all of our friends that we've lost to some type of illness. I could look back over my life with AT&T or Michigan Bell started. I was 19 years old, so everybody that my whole life, you know, is wrapped around there. These people have become my friends, you know, my colleague, you know, employees, employers. But they, at the end of the day, you know, when I left, I had friendships, you know, and so I thank God. Yes, I thank God for them. I want to pay tribute to my girlfriend Shirley Jackson, who is a cancer survivor. Again, Tizella Washington. These are people that I know that are suffering with, you know, with this illness, and there are probably some people that I'm not mentioned, you know, but charge it to my head and on my heart, because so many people are affected by this terrible disease. So what we're going to do is just kind of wrap it up, is that, you know, prevention is, you know, doing the self-examination once a month, at least, you say every 3 months at least.
Yes, between 1 and 3 months.
Between 1 and 3 months, making sure that if you're over 40, that you get that mammogram, that if you're under 40, that you just make sure that you get a regular checkup, you know, pap smear, you know, get your checkups, check your family history to make sure that, you know, these diseases don't run in your family. Eat right, exercise, you know, and have a right attitude, you know, don't carry a lot of stress, you know, don't let the worries of the world consume you, you know, if you're on a job, don't let that job
work you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, leave the job at the job. You know, when you go home, try to find some freedom for yourself. You know, get out and do things that make you happy, and love on your family. You know, and just make sure that you know, because they said at the end of the day, we all, you know, will have to leave here. Let's make sure that the memory that we leave with people, our memories are good memories. You know, and the trouble comes by everybody's way, you know. Bad things happen to good people, you know, but be a person who could stand for something, who has that integrity to do something. I just really, truly appreciate you being here. I love
thank
you
so much.
I
love you so much more.
I know. I just really, you know, thank God for the people that He had put in my path, you know. Looking forward to getting to the retirement dinner on a Tuesday next month. I'm just gonna, you let me know what the date is. I'm gonna put it on my calendar. I'm gonna make sure, because I have no reason not to be there, because I love to eat. So, you know, if
we meet a little and then we eat a lot.
Okay, all right. Well, so that's what I'm gonna do. Come meet a little, eat a lot, and talk more, because you know I love to talk too.
Yes. There was one other thing that I just forgot to mention. Don't be afraid to take people kind of out of your life temporarily while you're going through it. If they're negative and if they don't have anything good to say, I have a dear aunt that I had to hang up the phone on because she just kept talking about who died from cancer. And I said, I can't talk to you right now. I love you, but I can't talk to you right now.
That's good.
I was, during the first time I was on, I was selling Mary Kay, and this lady was trying to make me meet my quota, and I could barely talk. I was so sick, and I had to hang up on her. So it's very important. You can love people from a distance, but while you're going through it, you need nothing but good, positive people that are just going to send out positive vibes and positive energy. That's going to make a difference.
That is some great information, and I'm glad that God brought that to your remembrance, because that is so important, that sometimes we have to, you know, step aside, and, you know, you do it in love. You know, I'm not mad at you,
but
you know,
you have to go exit stage left for right now.
You know, somebody had told me, I don't know, you know, where it was, that no is an anointed word. You know, sometimes you need to, you say no to people, you need to step aside from people. And I don't know if it's Tupac or who it is that got the song, I ain't mad at you, you know, but sometimes you have to make it do what it do. So, again, I thank you, and I'm going to get ready to end this show, but, you know, I'm looking forward to sitting down with you, talking more. You know, if it's anything I could ever do, you know, for you, for your sister group, you know, you know, anything, you know, if you guys want to come back, sit down, you know, talk, you know, with me, I would be more than happy to sit down with you guys and talk, to share and spread the word, you know, whatever it is that you need me to do. But again, God bless and keep you, and thank you. And what I'm going to do is to end my show, as I always end my show, to the viewers viewing audience, to the people who take the time to look at this show, who support me each and every week. I want to thank you guys for looking at this show. I'm hoping that the information that we brought you today, the information that I bring to you on this show, is a blessing to you, that it will help somebody, that it will encourage somebody. And again, I just thank each and every one of you. And so from my beating heart to your beating heart, I love you. You understand? Okay.